Welcome to my second part of Etsy week, as well as some watercoloring and trying out my new Faber Castell Polychromos. Last time on Etsy week I took some photos of the products I was going to set up. Mostly those were the products of my grandma, which I'm selling now in my shop. I did have one sale so far, which makes me very happy. But I also back then thought I would be able to simply upload the photos and be done with it, but it was actually much more work than I anticipated. I had one card of each motif, and each motif has to be listed as a separate variation in Etsy, and it wouldn't have let me have as many variations as I had. So I had to do some photo editing and get 4 or 2 motifs into one picture. I placed some descriptions of the motifs below so that you would be able to identify which motif you want to buy. I wrote article descriptions in both English and German. I looked up the pricing for the shipping, which is more expensive than I thought. And then I simply pressed publish on all the articles, and that was it. Since then, that's more than a week ago now, I was busy with trying to market the shop. I have tried so far making posts on Instagram, making TikToks, setting up my shop on Facebook, which I am not allowed because I have too few subscribers. I mean, I guess that's valid. Still, it is quite the mean correlation. If I don't have any subscribers, I'm not able to promote my products with this very nice feature. But I don't get any subscribers because I don't have the nice features. So that's been a bummer, but that's okay. We'll just keep on going as we've been doing for the last 10 months now. If you, however, want to subscribe to any one of these social media accounts, I'd be very happy if you did that, because it will allow me to use other features and promote my grandma's articles and products. And then I sold a calendar. And I called my grandma and she was so happy. We were both very happy. I asked the customer, who is a senior from northern Germany, to leave a product review if she was happy with the way I handled anything. I think she misunderstood because she sent me such a nice message, but it's a private message, so it won't help with the visibility of my shop or getting new customers, but it was still very nice of her. Now I have 3 sales on my Etsy shop, but no review. I'm not quite sure if that's a good thing, but we'll see. Can't do anything about that now. That is what happened with Etsy. I am going to show you a clip of how I packaged the calendar I sent to northern Germany. I tried out the stamps I did last time. They worked out okay. They worked out fine. I now realize I should have made them smaller. But they are big, so can't change that as well. I hope you have fun, and I'll see you at the end of the video.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. You and I, we crickets see the moon, side by side and through and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, well, you know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. You and I can weather any storm.
And we move on to my new art supplies, which I got for myself as an early Christmas present. You'll see most of them later on as I try them out in my sketchbook, but you can also see in the text I put above the materials or next to them what they are. These are things I sat on for maybe 2 months now. I always have a hard time getting art supplies because I want to be sure I make the best choice possible. Well, I am now trying out the Caran Neocolor in Moss Green Fast. It is a water-soluble chalk, and that is always how I go about new materials. I pick out a color I like and I get one, and then I try it out. I try to dilute it with the new Winsor & Newton pen brush I got. I am not impressed with the brush at all. I had the Da Vinci Maestro in size 4. I loved it. I used it for about 10 minutes and then it broke. And I was very disappointed because I expected more from the Maestro line. So I thought I gave it back. I got my money back because that should not happen. But I am going to get that instead of the Winsor & Newton again because it was a huge difference in quality. Moving on to the White Nights watercolor. Maybe you remember how impressed I was by the one White Night purple I got. And these pastel colors were just as amazing. I'm very happy with them. This one is mint green. They have such a nice opaque pigment. I also got the color coral as well as lavender. I thought this was quite a nice mixture of pastels. I thought maybe it's me who can't use the pointed tip brush, but it worked out fine with the Maestro. So it probably is the Winsor & Newton that is funny. Then we move on to another watercolor. I am still struggling to find a nice green I like. I always think, okay, this one is it, but it's not. It is a nice green color, however, I'm using it in a second in my other on the other page of the sketchbook. Then I tried out the Tricolor Rainbow pencil. I thought it would be fun to sketch with it and also try a portrait with it. This was not big enough to experience all the color changes you would usually. I'd have to make a larger sketch. This, I was pretty excited. It's a no-name brand. I don't know the name of this. It simply is a brush holder and it will dry in the position that is better for the brush. Now I'm using my Pentel sign in ochre to start the fall sketch. The only two things I had a sketch with pencil beforehand was the leaf on the left as well as the squirrel. And then I just went in with the pen, with the sign pen directly. I drew everything I could think of that would scream fall to me, which would be umbrellas and lots of leaves and some nuts, walnuts, acorns, a hedgehog, apples, all those things. As soon as you fill up the whole page, it just looks very intentional. And I also tried out my Neocolor eraser. You know, I still have some erasers that I used back in 6th grade, and they are not good, let me tell you. They scratch my paper, and I am using more and more watercolor paper, which means that you need a light hand when handling that paper and a light eraser. It worked out very nice, and you can now see the color palette I chose for the sketch. I wanted some ochre as well as light and dark browns, very muted colors. I did not end up using the permanent green. Instead, I used the new spruce green I got. I also tried mixing all this with some cadmium red and Indian yellow so that I would have a light blue shade in there. What I really like about the sign pen from Pentel is that it is not water resistant, which means when you paint over it with watercolor, it will automatically get some of its color into the sketch or into your painting. The ochre I used seeped in and made everything a bit more yellowish. I really enjoyed that, and also using it to my advantage. I keep circling around other colors of the sign brush, but, well, as I said, I have quite the hard time getting new art supplies. I always want to make sure I am going to use them and not just make a collection that I could practically put in a museum. I have lots of art supplies. I believe you know that by now. And I'm very happy with them, but I also feel bad when I don't use them. Well, let me know if you can relate. I think that's a very common thing for artists. I feel happy when I use my art supplies, but I also feel unhappy when I don't use them. And I can't use everything all the time, which is a dilemma. Anyways, you can see I switched to the Da Vinci Caran brush as well because I was having so much trouble with the Winsor & Newton. I started to distribute water and pigments with the Winsor & Newton, and then when it came to getting more colors in there, I switched to the Da Vinci Caran. Has anyone other experiences with brushes or brands? I am still looking for maybe free sable brushes. I very much like my synthetic brushes, but at the same time, when I used the Da Vinci Maestro, as I said, for about 10 minutes before it broke, it was heavenly. It was such a difference. Any tips at all are very much appreciated. At this point, I was itching to try out the Faber Castell. I wanted to be done with it and put away the watercolor. I got some spruce green that I mixed in there, and I definitely liked how it turned out. I also used yellow for the rain boots and the raincoat. And then finally for the clouds, the rain, as well as the umbrellas, I mixed ochre with green and even used some cyan blue in order to get a nice muted light blue. And then it was finally time for the Faber-Castell Polychromos. I will put on the screen which of the colors I got out. I was always interested in the mixed media pieces artists did with watercolor or gouache and then colored pencil on top. And let me tell you, I immediately understood the appeal. I started with, for example, here green F, which became my new favorite color of the set. As soon as I tried out on a small patch how I liked it, I went ahead and used it on bigger areas. With just a few strokes, you can create such depth to whatever you are painting. I had loads of fun. Just a quick info about the Polychromos. I am going to do a separate video because I used a set and then I chose individual colors which I thought the set was missing. I want to introduce the colors I chose and the palette I now have. I also want to simply talk about how you can decide which colored pencils would be best for you. I don't want to compare them because there are already great comparison videos out there. I want to talk about how you can decide which one would be best for you. I also created a Dune fan art of Lady Jessica with the Polychromos. And I am still thinking or struggling to decide if I should do 2 separate videos, one with the fan art, one with the Polychromos, or if you would be interested to have it in one single video. So I'd combine both. Let me know what you would prefer. I always love to hear your feedback. If you have any other things you associate with fall, I'd love to hear it. I'm going to do another one of these mixed media pieces soon with a different color palette, and I'm looking for ideas and love to incorporate whatever you think screams fall to you. Prepare for the whitest pen possible. I am not using the Faber Castell white pencil. It's not as good, not even half as good as the Caran white. I got this separately a while ago because I read that this was the best pencil white you could get, and it definitely is. Just look at how I am painting in these highlights without having to use my Posca pen. And now I'm getting out another special pencil. It is the Allura Rembrandt Splendor. And what it does is it condenses the pigment and creates a shiny surface. There must be some paraffin oil in there because that is what gets colored pencils to behave like a liquid. And I wasn't happy with this apple in particular in the center, which is why I tried to use the Splendor on it. And that is my fall sketch. We are finished. That was the second part of the Etsy week, as well as my second fall vlog. The next video will be about the Polychromos and my Dune fan art. It is almost done, so I think you don't have to wait that long. If you want to be notified when the next video comes out, be sure to subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot to me, and as I mentioned, it would mean a lot if you subscribed on my other channels, because I then just get better tools to grow my channel and let more people see my grandma's art. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye.